Welcome to the Prime Health Podcast with your host, Dr. Derek Barron. Dr. Derek Barron. Dr. Barron interviews doctors, wellness experts, and healthcare leaders who are revolutionizing how we approach health and longevity. The Prime Health Podcast explores breakthrough science, personal and patient stories, and practical insights that are shaping the future of health and wellness. So sit back, listen in, and prepare to transform how you think about your path towards Prime Health with Dr. Barron and his special guest.
Welcome back to the Prime Health Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Derek Barron, and I'm here to bring you cutting-edge insights and practical strategies from leading health experts for your journey to Prime Health in life and in business. Now, could healing really be as simple as slowing down? Today's guest, Dr. Emily Roedersheimer, has firsthand knowledge of the body's innate capacity to heal. When people step back, adjust their lifestyle, and give their body space, it responds. And she's here to talk about why and how. And I'm as excited as you are. So before we truly jump into this episode, I just have a quick message from our sponsor, Grow Solutions. We partner to transform passionate healthcare practitioners into profitable practice owners without the overwhelm or guesswork. So we try to eliminate your biggest headaches, whether it's new patient lead generation, communication breakdowns that can happen within staff and or into patients, operational chaos like implementing proven systems and frameworks. And yes, we help you implement AI and AI agents to allow you to enjoy practice more because they're coming whether we like it or not. Grow Solutions is not an agency or vendor. We are your growth partner. So if you've ever thought or said this, I'm too busy to grow, too slow to scale, or too overwhelmed to fix it, we are your growth solution. Just drop the word grow in below or feel free to reach out to me on any platform. But you're here today to hear from Dr. Emily Roedersheimer. Dr. Roedersheimer, welcome to the Prime Health Podcast, and please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Sure, Derek. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I'm really happy to be here and talk more about my journey. I started in family practice, and that was many, many years ago. I did that for over 15 years.
Wow.
And at that time, I read an article that was discussing functional medicine. And that's a topic I had never heard of. No interest or, no idea about that. And as I learned more and more, I became quite interested. And I actually started to utilize the tenets of functional medicine on myself and was able to reverse my rheumatoid arthritis, which I had had since age 10.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So since age 10, been on medications. Most of my adult life was injecting myself with 2 strong biological medications to suppress my immune system. And in finding functional medicine, which I like to call root cause medicine, looking under the hood, finding the root of what was causing my body that imbalance, I was able to heal that, and I don't take any medications anymore.
Wow. So I usually ask a different question, but I'm going to jump into this one right away. So tell me, how long did it take for you to kind of get over those, issues that you were having with the juvenile rheumatoid arthritis?
Sure. Yeah, it took, it was probably, I was in practice trying to learn a new practice at the same time. So I would say over the course of about 2 to 2.5 years of, everything I learned, I just started to implement on myself. I was my own first functional medicine patient and just started to feel better and better and better. And, the first shift I ever made was a big change in what I was eating. And that shift alone, within 30 days, I stopped 1 medication.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that was and that's when all these light bulbs started going off in my brain. Like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And why had I never learned the power of our lifestyle? So I just kept diving in. And the biggest takeaway for me, from functional medicine was that the lifestyle really is the driver of so much of our health. And in particular, in my case, while what I was eating was very important, the stress that I hadn't even really understood I had or ever looked at needed to be addressed. I think that's why it took me so long, because that's a big one to unwind from when you're a physician and you're a mom and you're running 24/7 on that hamster wheel. But yes, as I began to address those things, I just saw healing, in its best form. So
yeah,
I'm
Well,
very
it's great.
passionate.
Yeah. It's amazing that you were your own first patient. You have firsthand knowledge. And I'll kind of ask maybe a little bit later about expectations with your patients have, but I think I have an idea maybe as to why you did this. But was there a moment in your life that said, you know what, I want to have a career in medicine?
Yeah, actually, in childhood, starting as such a young child, in the chronic medical care system, there were doctors, there were nurses that took really good care of me. They didn't have all the tools that I have now in functional medicine,
Sure.
so it was a lot of medication management, but there was a lot of care and love behind it, and I always wanted to be able to share that with others.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking that adventure as a young child, and I'm sure that you are very happy you did to be able to actually finally heal yourself of
Mm.
what was taking place, and now you can help others do that as well. So, I guess I'll ask this from a functional medicine standpoint. What do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about functional medicine versus your typical, I go in to see my primary care physician at the hospital? What's that difference?
The difference I would say is the difference in the what the person is expecting. Is that kind of your question,
Yeah,
or
I'm
what
sorry
is
if I
the
wasn't.
actual
Yeah,
difference?
yeah, yeah.
So I would say in functional medicine that we are really looking for that root cause.
Correct.
In my primary care training, it was find a diagnosis for whatever was ailing the person, and then what do we do to treat it? What medications, surgeries, what other treatments do we have
Yeah.
to cover it up, to quiet it down, it never really went, we weren't really healing anything. I mean, maybe a broken bone, right? And so surgery can do some things, but in chronic disease management, it was a lot of like band-aid patchwork. And in functional medicine, the goal is truly to resolve the problem at the root, which
Okay.
is there's generally many root causes. It's not, I honestly don't know of one case where it was one thing, where we can just let it, there's so much to it, but we look at the whole picture and we start to peel away things that might be keeping the body off balance
Mm.
and start to give it the things that it really wants and needs. And honestly, most of the work is done by your body.
Mm.
I'm not the healer. I'm like I get to witness this beautiful thing that happens in your body when we create the right environment and the right balance.
Yeah. And in that little introduction, I said it's about the innate ability to heal, and you're making that statement, Dr. Emily, that it really you're watching the body do the work when you give it the right avenues to do it.
Mm. Yes, your
Yeah.
body. This is something every person can learn about themselves. Is that your body is so powerful, and
Mm.
it's always trying to heal. It's always trying to take care of us, and
Yeah.
we just need to give it the right environment, which is challenging in today's society, I have to say.
Yeah, I would agree. Most, if we could break it down to be very simple, you cut your finger, you put a Band-Aid on it, you put nothing else but a Band-Aid to try and avoid some dirt from getting into it, and then you take that Band-Aid off 2 or 3 days later, and it's starting to heal itself. That's what the body wants to do from the inside out. So I think that that's a wonderful choice in how functional medicine helps. So I guess I'll ask this question: what do you wish everyone that's struggling with their health knew about functional medicine and really health creation itself?
Sure. Yeah. I would say that there's always something within our reach. I
Okay.
think a lot of our health has been outsourced, or we feel like we have to outsource our health to find the right doctor, find the right medicine, find the right, whatever the outside thing is. And there's so much in us that we can do if we just evaluate, what are our day-to-day choices like? What's our life look like? Am I making the good choices that my body wants? And from just that lifestyle standpoint, there's a lot of power in those small moment to moment choices.
Yeah. And as you said, we're bombarded in society by whether it's our phone, whether it's the TV, whether it's radio, whether it's somebody you're walking down the street with. Because when I see somebody eating ice cream, I'm a little envious and jealous of that. But what that does to my system, and again, if you keep that away, how the body has the ability again to go and heal itself is fantastic. And I think that more people need to understand the importance of considering to reach out to somebody like you that's a functional medicine provider and can change them. And I guess this will be a time in which I'll come back to that question I said before is when you have patients that will, or clients, how you deal with them, whether they're virtual or in office, and I think you're mostly virtual, is that
I'm all
correct?
virtual. Yes. Since
All
COVID,
virtual?
we went virtual.
So when you deal with your clients from a virtual perspective, what are the expectations that you tell them up front? Of course, everybody wants the easy button and the easy pill, but that doesn't happen in functional medicine.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, I think most of them know by the time they come to me, they've, watched me on social media or, followed my website or whatever for long enough to know that my practice is very much based on helping you align your lifestyle. So there's going to be some work on the client's end, but with a whole lot of support, guidance, structure. We really hold your hand and help guide you through making those changes because we realize that it is very hard to have a healthy lifestyle in our society today. So you're part of a community of others that are all doing the same, working with the same type of goal. And we work to educate and help you understand why we might suggest a change, like for yourself, if when you eat ice cream, you don't feel well, we might suggest, okay, that's your body talking to you. So let's listen to that signal and let's run with it and say, okay, so what if we take ice cream for a while? Not that you can never, ever, ever have it, but
Right.
and allow some healing to happen. And then we say, okay, what else could we play with? Because now you're feeling so much better from the lack of ice cream. We just add on the next thing. And it's really very much like individual to what you're capable of handling. Some people come in and they want a complete overhaul and they're ready, and they'll just change everything all at once. That's hard.
Yes.
And then there's others where we take those baby steps, like maybe the first thing is the ice cream or the
Yeah.
soda or whatever, and we add on from there.
Yeah. It's a healthy approach to go about that. Not everybody can do cold turkey and many things, so it's a good approach. Dr. Emily, you said so there's a team associated with your business, and I know someone on your team is a health coach. And can you explain to us how in your functional medicine practice, how the health coach can actually help them along with their healthier lifestyle choices?
Yes, actually. So this is a big shift I made in my functional medicine practice. Initially, it was just myself, and I did actually have one health coach from the beginning. But what I came to see was that the vast majority of the healing came from the lifestyle changes that were made, and
Right.
that I became a bottleneck. I could only help so many clients as a one-on-one physician, and a health coach is a perfectly situated provider to help with lifestyle change. They don't have to have a full-on medical education, and they can help be an extension of me to
Sure.
make lifestyle change. And then they actually have a coaching background that I don't have. So they're actually better at helping someone implement a lifestyle change than I am. So now I have 3 health coaches on staff. And that is exactly who I'm referring to when I say we.
Okay.
My new clients that come in to work with me start with my health coach.
Okay.
And they start with 3 months in a program I call Health Begins Here, because I very much believe health begins with the lifestyle.
Okay.
3 months in that program, we see on average a 63% reduction in symptoms
Wow.
in 3 months' time. And that's without a medication, that's without a test. It's just the basics of day in and day out, kind of your habits and what you're doing. And so after that point, then if we need to go a little further and we need to do some testing or add some supplement protocols, that's when the client starts to work with me. But
Okay.
it's so beautiful because we've already cleaned up a whole lot of background noise. So now I can be very focused on just what's still outlying, what's still bothering you that might actually be necessary to do some functional medicine testing or may need some supplements for a little bit to help reverse. But a lot of our clients get better without ever seeing me.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they get much better once they do see you, but that's good that you've hired some fantastic health coaches in your business. So what are some of the typical conditions of clients that come in to see your practice?
Sure. Yeah. My practice is very much built for women, middle-aged women who are trying to take on the world, often working women, moms, and they've kind of forgotten to take care of themselves. Very much where I was when I found functional medicine, and it has changed my life. So now we try to help that clientele, and really the women we work with are mostly, we see a lot of fatigue. They've been tired for a long time, insomnia, anxiety, gut disturbances, autoimmunity, because that's my story as well.
Yeah.
And we really help to, reverse those things pretty quickly.
Okay. Wonderful news, because they're, all too often I've interviewed a lot of women, which is fantastic, but I get a repeat statement on that, and that they're essentially left behind. Now, that's by their family core, that's by the business core. Like, you're supposed to be the hardworking, you can do it all yourself. And then they like, I can do it all myself. But then what gets left behind is the body and the soul of the person. So
Yes.
I'm glad you take that approach.
Yeah. Thank you. I agree 100%.
Yeah. Speaking to that, trust in healthcare is maybe questionable right now of everything that's going out there. So how is it that your company, your health coaches, and yourself kind of pass along the fact that working with us, your company, you can trust us because we're here to help you gain better health? How do you work on trust with your clients?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Truthfully, most of our clients have come to us after they've been through the medical ringer, so to speak. Maybe have seen multiple doctors. So I think the highest number was like one of our clients had seen like 12 specialists by the time they found us. Yeah, and there's a lot. Unfortunately, the conventional medical world, doctors are overwhelmed. There's a lot of burnouts. There's not a lot of connection. And
Yeah.
I think in speaking with either myself or any of the coaches I would ever train and hire to work with me, our connection and that heartfelt, we see you, we get you, and we're going to validate where you are and just be a support. I think it's just becomes an obvious feeling
Yeah.
once you dive into our practice. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. It's great to hear. It is, you can go into an office, and unfortunately with conventional medicine, 7, 11, 12, 15 minutes, if you're lucky, it's very, very difficult to do that. And it's the difference of the investment in your life and your health versus just relying upon your insurance, that it's what's going to fix them. Your insurance doesn't do it. It's the provider you see. And when they can go to somebody like you and your health coaches, one of the biggest factors, I think, is the time you can spend with your clients.
Yes, very true. Yes, and good, you brought up insurance. We do not take insurance. We don't want to work for someone's insurance company because we will be very restricted in what we can offer. And so, we spend a lot of time. My health coaches meet with clients twice a month, 90 minutes a month to really get the ball rolling. And then any visit with me is up to an hour. New patient visits are up to 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we really are going to dive in and look at the whole person. What's going on in your life, and how is it all connected, and how can we make a change?
Yeah. Love to hear it. From your practice right now, what's the focus of your business? What are you working on next?
Yeah, I think the focus is really just spreading the impact. And that's why I've taken this Health Begins Here program and really try to expand it. I brought in more coaches. We have capacity to handle more people coming in now. We have a whole back end where I have I just record every month. We have multiple webinars and things that are recorded. So we have this educational library, so to speak. So clients really get to take full advantage of all of that. And so we're really just trying to spread the word that, when I see the results of somebody who comes in feeling miserable and 3 months later has had this massive change in their health and their outcome, like their whole life is different.
Yeah.
I just want to shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here today. I just want everyone to know there's always hope. There's literally always something that can be done, that we can help to start making some shifts and to help you feel like yourself again.
Yeah. It's when it sounds like you're on a mission because you fixed yourself, you're able to help other people through that problem. And if you stay silent and stay in the corner and hide, you're hurting that individual, that woman, you're hurting that woman's family, you're hurting that woman's business and her lifestyle by not being out there. And that's a large weight to carry on your shoulders, but it is true. If you don't spread the message, there's somebody somewhere that's not getting the benefit of the care that you can provide them.
Yeah. I love what you said, because that's exactly how I think about it. If I can help one woman feel better, the impact on her children, her spouse, her family, her work, her community is just profound.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know, to get some purpose out of this, of the pain that I went through in my journey, you know, feel so blessed, honestly, that I had rheumatoid arthritis,
Yeah.
because I it was the path to show me this new way, and now I get to spread it. So yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Agree exactly
Yeah.
with what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. From the business perspective, are there challenges that your business is going through?
The challenge, I think, is always when you don't take insurance, you know, helping clients to see the value and why would they want to spend their money with, you know, doing this, and also up against the quick fix, you
Mm.
know, the sexy new shot, fancy test. Like, you know, there's a lot of things out there that are flashy, and it looks easy. It's like, let me just buy this one thing and my life will be great. And I honestly, I've never found there's not a quick fix button
No.
there. And so you know, helping to people to see that the time, energy, effort, and financial investment in this process is well worth the payoff.
Yeah. You had said that you do webinars. Do you do webinars for the general public, or you only do them for your clients once they become yours?
Sure, mostly for my clients. I do occasionally have webinars, and we have group programs. Sometimes we'll open up, like actually a couple times a year, we do a group detox where we lead a group through clean eating and some supplements to help with the detoxification program. But mostly it's for my clients. There's just a library of resources available.
Fantastic. Would you mind sharing a success story of one of the clients or two that have come through your practice?
Sure. Yes. This one young lady comes to mind. She was really so fatigued. She had Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune thyroid condition, and it was impacting every avenue of her life. She could almost not get out of bed. Two small children at home, and really was having some bad thoughts. Like, can I get through this? Can I keep going? And within 3 months' time, she was, you know, just changing her lifestyle, having the support of her coach. Her life completely shifted. And now she'll tell you, her husband ended up, like, he lost like 40 pounds, and now they cook all their food together. The family eats differently, and they're going to renovate their kitchen because they actually want to be spending more time there and see the power of what they can do with those choices. So she was really a lot of fun to watch her transform. She no longer is in bed all day. She's up and engaged in life, and actually just ran a half marathon. So,
Oh my God.
yeah. So it's so exciting to watch that transformation.
So, Dr. Emily, if you look at that patient of yours, and if you look at them prior to you learning about functional medicine, you know, how do you, like, the outcomes for that person, she would be shifting to, you know, her sixth and seventh and up to the 12th, in conventional medicine, it's not anything against them, but they're caught in a cycle.
Yes.
And, you know, like, what would be some words of wisdoms of maybe somebody that feels like, hey, I'm like this person, I have this condition, I've gained weight, I've got brain fog, I'm agitated, I'm irritated.
Yeah.
What's some words of wisdom to say you should try functional medicine?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's the support, like letting women understand that they deserve support too. Because truthfully, they're doing it for everyone else, and we take ourselves off the table. We forget that we're important as well. And it's like on the airplane, you know, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first. And so having some support makes all of this doable. To ask somebody who's exhausted to take on a whole, you know, like, there's books out there. You can read all kinds of books on how to change your lifestyle, what's healthy. And, you know, it's just so hard to do when no one's holding your hand, no one's supporting you. And just sometimes some validation for how you're feeling is legitimate and that you're seen and you're understood. That can take a huge weight off of someone who's maybe gone to some doctors in the past that didn't validate or legitimize. So it's, I think, just reach out for support, whether it's through my practice or a different functional medicine practice, or even just asking a friend or a loved one, hey, like, I'm not okay. I need some help here.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It sounds like community is a big thing for you.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. So what would you say is the vision of your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years. Well, my vision is to have one of the largest lifestyle practices in the world, but that's
Okay.
probably going to be a little more than 3 to 5 years. So just to continue to grow the impact, to
Okay.
have the need to hire more beautiful health coaches to join me, because we have so many people coming in, and we're just transforming lives, and at a bigger and bigger scale.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting to hear that that's happening. And again, it's amazing that it came from you having struggles, you reading an article and say, like, how many people do you think out there read the article and just put it to the side and said, I can't make a change? You had
Yeah.
to make it, you had to take that one step, read the article, and the next step is take action on it. So just think of all of the patients and the clients that have gone through your program. Had you not taken that step, where they would be still. It's unfortunate to think about that.
Well, thank you. It was meant to be. It's
Yeah.
really, why I'm here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll share all of your links, all of your contact information, but how would you like someone to get in touch with you to learn more about you and your business?
Sure. Yeah. For those on social media, you can follow me on Instagram, Balance Living FX Med. But my website has a lot of great information, reviewing that Health Begins Here program, what's involved, what's included. You can even sign up on my website if you're interested. And those are probably the best ways you can reach out. Sign up for our newsletter as well. I send regular email content, educational and inspirational. I'm always trying to provide hope to those on a similar journey. So I would love to have anyone follow along.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what's the name of your program again, the starting of it?
Yeah, it's called Health Begins Here.
Okay.
And my practice is Balanced Living Functional Medicine.
Okay. And give a little bit more detail on your program.
Sure. Yeah. The Health Begins Here program it's a 3-month program. That's the minimum. We do have a lot of clients that choose to stay longer because they continue to see benefit, but we do know that it takes time to make changes in our lifestyle and to make them stick. So we don't want somebody in our program for 10 days. They do all this work, they feel better, they leave, and then they fall apart, right? The goal is like complete transformation. So in that program, they will have their own health coach. So they get assigned, and it's the same coach all the time. They really get to know you. You're meeting twice a month, about every 2 weeks with your coach, going through what's your day-to-day life look like, and what's, my coaches and I can kind of pull out what's the low-hanging fruit for this person, whether it's like, okay, you just need to go to bed a little earlier. Do you need to be eating a solid breakfast? Some of the things the changes that we help people incorporate are very simple. Yeah. Eating breakfast every morning, drinking more water, putting your phone down, going to bed, but they're really hard to do. So it's having that support and making those changes. But like I said, within that 3-month period of time within that program, we are seeing about a 63% reduction in symptoms on average.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. Yeah.
Very proud of it.
Yeah. With all of your history and all the success that you have, if there's one piece of advice you would give to everyone that would help their health in a positive way, what would that piece of advice be?
Yeah, I would say look within and start with yourself and your choices to see where can you make a tiny little change. Because that small change, if you do it every day, it compounds like compounding interest.
Yes.
And before you know it, you're feeling better and you're ready to take it on another change.
Yeah. Love it. Mixing compounding interest and compounding your health in a positive way, because it can get worse quicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
Changing that cycle is important with you and your company. So last question for you, Dr. Emily, you're on the Prime Health podcast. What would be your definition of Prime Health?
Yeah, I think that when I think of Prime Health, I think of thriving. I think of, instead of just surviving or getting by and being okay, we want to actually thrive, be fully invested in, have the energy for everything you want to do in your life, pursuing your passions. What's your purpose here on this planet? I think Prime Health is your ability to go after all of that.
Well, I love it. It's always great to ask that question because I get different answers every single time. Actually, both of those questions I do. So it's as much educational for me as it is. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Sure.
So Dr. Roedersheimer, thank you very much for being a guest, sharing your story. It's very, very unique. Unfortunately, as you said, having juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, going through that condition. I hate to say it, but probably suffering more than you wanted to, but your suffering helps people in the long run, which you had brought up. So I really do appreciate that. To the viewers and listeners, if you've gotten just one thing, which I know you got more, but if there's one thing, a neighbor, somebody that sits across from you in the pew at church, that can benefit from this, somebody that's, you play pickleball with at your court, one of the women that you think would benefit from this, please do share this. It's important. She's looking to grow her business and reach that. It's not just about her. The more people that Dr. Emily can touch, the better our world will be overall. So I would actually, appreciate it if people would do that. For myself, selfishly, we'd love for you to, subscribe and share the podcast as well. So again, until next time, remember that true wellness is a journey we are all on together, whether you're taking charge of your own life or you're helping others, guiding them through their changes. Every step forward matters. So I ask you, stay committed to your Prime Health journey. And again, Dr. Roedersheimer, thank you very much for being a guest on the Prime Health Podcast.
Thanks so much for having me, Derek. It's been a pleasure.